What up, guys? It's your girl Valentine. I really wasn't sure about making this video. It's hard when you want to come on any type of like platform and get personal and tell people things about your past, especially when it's like really deep, it coming to family. A few people have been asking me about things I referenced about my mom when I got her that car for her birthday / Christmas gift. It's about to get really personal, and if you guys are just coming in and tuning in with who I am, make sure you guys subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and feel free to leave comments, but just be mindful that when you guys do leave certain comments, when it comes to someone's life being so personal and someone deciding to open up, if you guys don't have anything nice to say, then just don't even bother commenting, please. Because the last thing I even want to hear is anyone saying anything bad about anyone's past and who they were and who their parents were. That's just not really your place to say anything, to be honest. But with that being said, let's get into this video, guys. So, growing up, my mom and dad were together from the time when I was probably like 4 or 5, maybe 6, and my sister was still a baby, and then they split up. I never really understood why they split up until like I was older and I was able to understand and comprehend things I just didn't think I would be able to understand. We ended up moving out, and I had no idea really where my mom went or like what really happened to her. I just remember us moving in with my grandparents, me, my dad, and my sister. Life was kind of confusing, but I felt like it kind of went by. But maybe that's just because for me, when I personally don't want to remember something, I make myself forget it. And so like when I hear certain stories or certain things, sometimes I just really don't remember it at all. Some kind of like, not like flashbacks, but some remembrance of what it was I was trying to block out. I just remember there being a lot of arguments. I remember like I used to get scared at night to sleep alone. I would go in the middle of the night and I would sleep in between my parents. I don't know, like this part of the story is gonna sound kind of strange because I don't know if like people believe in this kind of thing or not, but on this one particular night, like vivid as hell, I remember this because it was probably one of the first semi-traumatic things that happened that I witnessed. But I remember waking up, my sister was in her crib and I had like my own bed, and I got up from my bed and I kind of skimmed my room, and in the corner of my room where my door was, there was a lady like standing there, and I didn't know who she was or what she was, or I don't know, but there was a lady standing there. And I remember like my door was semi-closed but not really closed, not really cracked either, but I like walked past her and she's like at the very corner of my door. So like as I'm opening the door, I like open it and then close the door behind me, and my parents' lights are on, and this is probably like sometime like in the morning, but it's like not like in the time that people would be awake, maybe like 2 or 3 or something like that. I don't know, but I know it was really dark outside, and my parents' room was open, like cracked, and I saw the light on, and I just remember my parents arguing. I remember my mom hitting my dad with like a lamp or like a light or of some sort. I think I went back to my room and I really don't remember anything else, just like that little small part of my life. I don't really remember seeing my mom after that for a long time, and whenever I would see her, she just didn't seem like, I knew that she loved us and that she wanted to be there with us and wanted to be around us and stuff, but I just remember a lot of times when she would tell us that she would come get us, we would like pack all our things and be so excited, and we would call her and she'd be like, I'm like 5 minutes away, I'm gonna be there. And we would be sitting at the bottom of my grandparents' apartment and sitting on the steps inside of like the glass doors waiting to see her pull up, or seeing like her car, or just seeing her walk up to the door or something. We would just be sitting there for 10 minutes and then 30 minutes and then an hour, and then she just wouldn't show up, and we would go back upstairs and still have our things packed and still like be waiting. She just, I don't know what happened. Maybe like something came up. I thought I would try calling her, but there would be no answer, and maybe like a few days later or something, she would do the same thing again. When we would go with my mom, I just remember her kind of always being really tired, and she would pretty much like want to sleep throughout the day. I remember like we would ask her like, could we go to the park, or could we go do something, or could we go to the library, and she would be kind of tired, but eventually she would take us to go somewhere. When we would go to my mom's, she didn't have her own house, so we would go to my grandma's house on her side and be with my grandma. My grandma would make us breakfast, take us to church, and get us ready for school. And my aunt too. My aunt pretty much helped raise us too. Well, both my aunt. I remember this particular day when I think it was like after my birthday or something, and my dad gave me some money and my grandparents gave me some money. My mom came to come get us because she wanted to spend time with me for my birthday, I think. And we ended up going to one of her friend's house, and I don't really remember like why we were there, but I remember we were playing soccer. And this is probably like one of the first times I lied to my mom, but we're playing soccer, me and the kids downstairs, and I think my sister went upstairs. And I kicked the ball really hard, and it broke this lady's window, and she saw that I kicked it, and I told my mom that I didn't. And the kids, some of the kids were telling her that I did, and then a few of them were like, no, she didn't kick the ball, she didn't. And they're trying to blame this other kid. My mom defended me and told the lady that it wasn't me, and like she was getting really mad at the lady. And I remember she got me and my sister, and we just left into the car. And before we got into the car, she asked me to see the money that I got for my birthday, and I handed it to her. Sometime when we got into the car, I asked it back from her. That was the first time my mom hit me. I asked it back, and she just slapped me, and I didn't understand why. And I remember just pushing her away and being scared, because obviously I didn't know what I did, and I didn't do anything. And she started crying, and she like told me that she was sorry. Again, I was young, I didn't understand what she was going through, what was going on, or I don't really remember the rest. I just remember my dad picking me up and telling her that I just want to go with my dad. I also remember there were months that I didn't see my mom. I remember I'd go with her to her friends' houses a lot because she didn't have a place to stay, and so we would stay at places with her friends. I remember I'd have to like take care of her friends' kids, and I would take care of them and feed them their bottle and put them to bed and just hang out with my sister. I really don't remember much because I just made myself forget. Eventually I remember sitting down with my grandma after some time of not seeing my mom, but I would still go over to my grandma's house to be with my grandma and my aunts and stuff. And I asked my grandma, where is my mom at? And why isn't she ever here? Where is she at? Where does she even go? And my grandma looked at me and she's like, you know, you're gonna understand a little bit more when you're older, and you might not get it now, but your mom has some things that she's going through. I'm just praying to God that she gets better, because I just don't want her to get hurt, and I don't want her, she just didn't want her to get hurt. I remember that me and my sister were asleep in my mom's room that was my mom's room. She would come and pick us up, and that's the room that we would stay in with her at my grandma's house. I remember one night, I woke up and I sat up on my bed, and I saw the same lady that I saw that night when that was like my first traumatic experience. So the same lady, I saw straight ahead, and I tried closing my eyes because I thought maybe like this is a ghost or something, and if I close my eyes it'll go away. And it was weird because I remember I had my head under the covers and my sister was like completely passed out next to me, and so I tried waking her up and she wouldn't wake up, and I got out from under the covers and that lady was literally right next to me, and I got so scared that I got off my bed and I ran to my grandma's room. I told her that there's a lady in my room and to go check on my sister. So she goes into the room and she's like, there's no one in there. And the next day I found out that my mom, like, she went to jail. She was in prison and she was in there for a long time. I remember when we would go see her, I remember when we would go see her and we were waiting in like a play yard area. There was kids, their families, and other people like sitting down, like talking to people. And I remember my body was so tense and stiff and like shaking. And I remember seeing my mom. She could see us because I had to go through this. You could see them through this window. My grandma was holding me by my shoulder. My uncle was there. They're like rubbing my back and stuff, because I don't know if my sister was, I don't even know if she really remembers much. I remember my body getting so tense, and when she came out to sit with us, I just remember like I ran up, I hugged her, we were just talking, and she just said that she was sorry that she couldn't be there for us as much as she wanted to. But she seemed normal, like she seemed normal when she was there. And I remember like when it was time for her to go, like I just didn't want to let go. Sorry, I had to pull myself together because I don't want to get emotional. But yeah, I remember I had to pull myself together, and they had to pull me off my mom. And she ended up going back inside, and when we left, I just remember crying a lot in my aunt's car, because it was my aunt, my grandma, my other aunt, my uncle, me, and my sister. We left, and then they wanted to take us to Chuck E. Cheese, I guess, to probably get like our mind off of it or something like that. But that was like one of the first times that I was getting a hint of why she was there. I didn't really still understand. I also remember once I did know that she was there, I would get a lot of collect calls, and I would talk to her as much as I could. I also remember that my grandparents would always give me like dollars here, dollars there for snacks and stuff, and I would literally save it, and I would stuff it in my dad's one of his old coats in the closet, and I would send my mom little money orders, and because I didn't know how they survived in there, or if they had to pay for food, or what they had to do, or if she needed certain things. I didn't know how it all worked, but I remember I would send her money orders so that she can get whatever it is that she needed in order to survive. I didn't know what I was little. I didn't know what it was like for somebody to be inside of a prison. Eventually she came out. She was out for a little bit, and then I don't know how many times she went back, to be honest, but she ended up going back again. I think this was like one of the first times I found out that she was pregnant. But it's good because my mom was pretty much on drugs, and I don't know what she was really up to and what she was really doing, and I didn't know how bad it was. And I guess like all those times that I would go and take care of the kids while we were at her friend's house, I didn't know, but they would all just get high, I guess, and I wasn't aware of it, and I was a little kid. The day that my mom hit me in the face, she didn't hit me like with her hand closed, like she slapped me in the face. I guess she was high then too. I don't remember who it was that told. I think she was the one that told me all that, because eventually I asked her, why did you always act like that? Why were you gone? She eventually went back to prison, and she was pregnant with my baby brother. And I was scared because my mom wasn't supposed to have kids after my sister, because she had an emergency C-section. My sister almost died in my mom's stomach. I'm glad she didn't. I love my baby sister so much. And I was scared that if my mom gave birth to my brother, then she would die. I remember when she was in prison, that kept her away from doing all the bad things that she was doing. So I knew that while she was in there, that at least the baby would be safe, because she wouldn't be in her addiction and she wouldn't hurting the baby. When she got out again, they sent her to a rehabilitation center where kids could go, and this is probably around the time when my dad met his wife. They're not together anymore, but he met someone, and I don't know, she was kind of weird. She would always make it seem my mom wasn't anything. Even though my mom would try and I would see her trying, it just wasn't. She thought it was a joke that she was trying. I remember we would be so excited to go to the rehabilitation center that she was at, and we would get to sleep over there, and we got to meet a lot of the women there and their kids and hear their stories, and I was just glad that my mom was doing well again. And then she had my brother. He was so beautiful. When she got out of the rehabilitation center, she ended up staying either with my aunt or maybe my stepdad or maybe my grandma, I don't remember. But I remember I was getting older, and I would always have like money just saved up just from doing chores and stuff like that. So I remember, even though like I didn't have a lot of money, I would still like try and buy things for my brother. Like I got him his first bathtub and a lot of his first things, and I would just love to go over there and like help her take care of my brother. And I remember sometime after that, my mom kind of like broke down everything to me, and she told me pretty much everything that she was addicted to and certain things that she, obviously like when you're just caught up in addiction, you just do things that you don't want to do in order to get more of it. She just promised that she was going to do better, and she did do better. It took her a long time. It took her a long time. My mom is literally an extraordinary woman. I had a lot of personal issues growing up, with a lot of anxiety and depression, but I always tried my best to just look at things from a brighter angle. A lot of it had to do with just my faith in God and believing that things would get better. And I would always just try and smile. I would always try to be the person that was always there for people whenever they needed something. Not that I was like a people pleaser, but I just always believed in giving people the benefit of the doubt and giving them chances that I'm sure not everybody would give them. I would try my best for my family and for my friends, and I was always really driven and I put school first. I actually didn't even have my first boyfriend until I was 18 because I personally just don't believe in being in a relationship until you're at least financially stable and know what you're doing and know what it is to be in a relationship and know what to do if you have a child and how you're going to support it and you can't rely on your parents, and just valuing life in general. I practice gratitude and I practice love and being gentle. You know, I still have anxiety and I try not to get depressed anymore, and sometimes it could be hard, but I just always try to look at the brighter side because my mom ended up going back to school and college and graduated, and she's doing a lot better now and she's here for us and she really makes the effort, and I make the effort to call her all the time. And just so you guys know, that's my dad. He's weird. But at least he did that because that totally made me not want to cry anymore, so thank you, Dad. But my mom literally, she showed me that even though you have the hardest time just trying to get back on your feet and you just feel like you're at your lowest and you just feel like you're just done with life, that if you just keep pushing, you will always see the light at the end of any dark tunnel, and you just can't give up. And you gotta do it for yourself because you want yourself to do better and you don't want to let yourself down. There's like literally so much of my personal life that I've gone through growing up, things that were unfair, things that were out of my control, things that I wish never happened. A lot of it made me the person that I am today. I am grateful despite it all. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy that me and my mom were so much closer. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of the person that she is and the person that she chose to be and the person that she's choosing to be now. And I just love her with literally all my heart. And I know that she knows that. And it hasn't been the easiest, especially since my grandma just passed away and it's only been a year. But my grandma was literally her rock and my grandma was my rock. That's just a little bit of our past and our story. Now you guys know a little bit more about me. Just remember that if you do go through things with your family, don't give up on them, because at the end of the day, family is literally all you have. Try to make the best of it because everybody can change. I believe it. I hope you guys enjoyed my story time about me and my mom. I hope you guys kind of get to see a little bit of who I am and why I am the way I am and why I'm so protective of the people I love and care about, and why I don't like to give up on any type of relationships, whether it's friendships or personally or just family-wise. I was literally so stressed about telling you guys this story or little fragments of the story. I don't think I could really ever go into like super deep detail without like breaking down, so this is as much as I could bring myself to tell you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story, and just make sure you guys just be grateful and always smile and never be afraid to give people the benefit of the doubt. Thank you guys for being a part of my family and my friends. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe.